do the Eagles have that with this group?
Mike, what's your thoughts on Lane Johnson, man? 4 days out. Any thought from you on what could be going on there? Is it just family? Is there something going on at home? I mean, I'm a little worried. I can't lie to you. Is he thinking about retirement? I don't know. It's hard to tell. What do you think?
I mean, I think it's a fair question, but I got to imagine he had all offseason to think about this. Is he getting back and now saying, I'm conflicted on whether I even want to do this? Remember, this guy had a Liz Frank last year. He missed most of the season. You're almost like at the mode now with him where, I don't know, like in basketball, they load manage these guys. Are they kind of just doing the same thing with him here where they're just like, hey, although he got a new offense and a new system, you would think that they would want him out there with everybody else. But obviously with all the injury history that he has had, if you're a new staff coming in, you know how important he is to this offense. So I'm going to take it's early on in the process. I can't imagine that any of these guys playing a preseason game, right? So
No.
I think they're just trying to get him to the finish line of training camp here.
Well, they load managed. I don't think it's load management because they load managed Landon Dickerson, and you just say rest. Better. He hasn't been there. An excused absence, personal reasons. So something's going on in his personal life, which is fine. It's none of our business. But if they were just load managing him and it was nothing else, he'd be there and he'd be watching practice. And, there are days like they rested Quinyon, they rested the cornerbacks and Zach Vaughn. So Quinyon,
right,
Cooper, Reek, and they did individual and then they held out of team drills. You do it that way. Or Landon Dickerson yesterday. Complete rest day. You do it that way. But Landon trotted out onto the field, watch practice. He's not in the facility. So there's something going on. Hopefully it's not too negative and hopefully he can get back. I'm with you. Look, as long as he doesn't need this time. It's Lane Johnson. You bring him back with 2 weeks of practice, he's fine. At the end of camp, he's not going to play in the preseason. I'm with you there. I'm not worried about losing reps with Lane Johnson because he'll just get in there and do what he's got to do. But
yeah, the only questions I guess would be how much different are the roles of the offensive linemen in this offense than they were before, and does he need to kind of get those reps with the guy, Steen next to him?
I guess a little bit, but it's not like they never ran outside zone. It's just it's more of like they ran 70% inside zone, 30% outside. Now it's 70% outside, 30% inside. Like it's not like he's never done it before. Now the pass protection's a little bit different, but he's excited about that. He continually said because he's going to get some help. I mean, before. That was the biggest luxury of this offense. They never helped the tackles. They were on an island. They said, we're good. But that can be hard on Lane and Jordan. And they're all thrilled that occasionally they'll get some help from a tight end or a guard. But that to me is not going to affect Lane Johnson more than the other guys. Yeah, so I'm not worried about it from a football perspective at all. But I do think people are sticking their heads in the sand. Look, this is a guy who has admitted some mental health struggles.
Right.
This is a guy who has talked about retirement in the past. And recently he feels healthy.
Yeah.
It
just seemed like at the end of last year, that he was really fighting hard to get back. And maybe, I don't know, was he disappointed that the foot didn't respond the way it is, the new coaching staff. I don't know. I mean, you're right. He's had something, but I don't know. He got married recently? Didn't he get, what happened?
Yeah, he got married over the summer.
He got married over the summer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spring,
maybe
summer.
taking an extended honeymoon there.
Maybe. I mean, he was out the first couple of days.
You know what it's like, Xander. You gotta have a little bit more, less freedom than you had before.
I guess that's right. John brought up too that with the Markel Bell. I thought that part of it was interesting too, that he's starting to get ramped up. What's that look like? I don't know. I don't know. My ears are perked up right now on this. I think
Yeah,
it's
well,
something to keep an eye on.
I should throw out that conspiracy theory to Mike,
Yeah,
because
you
that
should.
was
Go ahead.
like when he missed the first day, they just moved Fred into right tackle because that's what they do in a game right now. Markel Bell's not ready. And then when it became 2 days and 3 days and 4 days, third and fourth day, all of a sudden Markel Bell's getting all the reps at right tackle. The conspiracy theory being, well, if Blaine's not going to be here, you're not using the Band-Aid. You got to get things started with the young
And
guy.
sometimes too, you get the coaching staff that likes the new toy and then sees it in action and then wants to start to like, hey, I got this, thing. I want to let him
All
play. I
right.
want to let him go.
That's fair. Yeah. Dampen. I'm just throwing out the conspiracy theory. All of a sudden, Markel Bell they're accelerating the process from where it looked like they were going to start it.
Okay. Noted.
Mike, what do you think of Eli Stowers, who's also had a pretty disappointing start to training camp?
I didn't have a huge expectation for him this season, mainly because, you got Dallas Goedert here, who's, obviously the main pass catcher. How are they going to get another pass catching tight end into the offense? And what kind of role could he really have? I would imagine it would be just specialized packages more than a major role in the offense. I like the pick. I like the player, but I would imagine he would be the guy for next season when Goddard's likely gone. They keep kicking the can down the road with these Goddard deals every single year. And I would think that Eli eventually takes over the job when Dallas is gone. So my expectations for him this year were not all that great, even though I did like the pick and I like the player.
All right, the big guy, Jalen Hurts, the quarterback, won. Mike Gill, NFL Network was in town yesterday. Saw some interviews with Mike Garafolo. Baldy was there. Jalen's very good when it comes to the microphone. You've seen him for a lot of years now. Seems to be engaged, seems to be enjoying the process, wants to know the why. Didn't know the why last year. Now he knows the why. What have you taken from just the personality of Jalen Hurts through this process?
It's very interesting. I've heard some people saying he's going to have an MVP season, and I just don't see where the numbers would. I don't see that he's a big part of the running game anymore. And I think if he's going to be an MVP, it's not going to be because he threw for 4,800 yards.